What is your profession?
So here we have 2,000 points of the new Tau Empire. So we have 3 detachments here today. We have a battalion, a vanguard, and a outrider detachment. So let's take a look now. So in the first detachment, the battalion, we have 2 hammerheads. The first hammerhead has an ion cannon, 2 smart missile systems, and 2 seeker missiles. The second has a railgun, 2 smart missile systems, and 2 seeker missiles. We then have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 5 fire warriors. Each sergeant has a marker light. That detachment is led by Longstrike, who has his ion cannon, 2 seeker missiles, and 2 smart missile systems. His railgun. And then we've got a commander who has 3 missile pods and the advanced target system. So those missile pods will be AP-2. Very good for cracking through the Steel Legion's armour. He is accompanied by a single shield drone. So that's the first detachment. Going on to the second detachment, this is the Vanguard detachment with the elite choices in it. We have 2 units of 5 stealth suits. There's no upgrades on the stealth suits, is there?
Marker light for the commander.
Apart from a marker light for the sergeant in each unit. That's a thing you do across your pretty much entire army, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, marker. That's sort of a bit of background fluff to Johnny's army. Every sergeant has a marker light. And then he's got 2 marker drones as well, in 1 in each squad. Then we have the Ghost Keel, which has the cyclic ion raker, 2 fusion guns, 2 stealth drones, and it also has the piece of equipment that allows it to move and shoot with heavy weapons with no penalty. And then we have a commander who has 2 fusion, 2 plasma rifles, and 2 gun drones. And finally, onto the outrider detachment, we have a unit of 4 pathfinders, no upgrades there, and then we have 2 piranhas. Each piranha has a fusion gun, a smart missile system, and 2 gun drones. And the commander here has 4 plasma, lots of plasma there, and 2 gun drones as well. So, quite a mixed army here, lots and lots of Dakar, a very respectable amount of anti-tank as well. Perfect for taking on the Steel Legion, but let's see the army that these guys will be facing off against now. So here we have 2,000 points of Armageddon Steel Legion. This entire force is in 1 detachment and it is in a brigade. So starting off at the front, we have 2 junior officers. They are armed with las pistol and chainsword. We then have a tech priest with an omnisci axe and a servo arm. 2 company commanders. We have 1 on the left with a las pistol and chainsword, power sword, and 1 on the right with a bolt pistol and power sword. Then we have the main bulk of the army, the armoured fist squads, 6 infantry squads in chimeras. 3 on the left, the sergeants have a bolter, there's a plasma gun in each squad and a mortar in each squad. And each one of their chimeras has got 2 heavy bolters and a heavy stubber. The next 3 squads have got a plasma gun in each squad, a bolter on each sergeant, and a heavy bolter as well. And again, their chimeras are armed with 2 heavy bolters and a heavy stubber. We then have 3 heavy support choices. We have 2 Lehman Russes with plasma cannons on the turrets, 2 plasma sponsons, and a heavy bolter. And then we have another Lehman Russ with a battle cannon, heavy bolter, and 2 plasma cannons. And then the last one here is actually a tank commander, so he's the 3rd HQ choice for the brigade, and he has a battle cannon, heavy bolter, and 2 plasma cannons. These turrets are from Cromlech Games, just in case you're wondering. And then we have, finally, to round out the brigade, we have 3 sentinels, and they are armoured sentinels with las cannons. And that is the full army. 13 armoured vehicles and 65 infantry. Let's see if they're able to cleanse some xenos scum today. So just to go through what the seps are for this force, the battalion is the Tau sept, and the other 2 detachments are using the Viola detachment. I'm probably butchering that, but it's the one that lets you move and advance with assault weapons with no penalty. So the Armageddon Steel Legion Warlord trait for today will be X-Gang Leader, so he gets an extra attack and +1 to wound, and his relic will be the Blade of Conquest. So we have a choppy Armageddon hero today, and the Tau Warlord trait will be Precision Hunter, reroll wounds of 1 made for your ward against enemy vehicles, and the relic will be the Pure-Tide Engram chip. So we'll be back after deployment. So here we have the field of battle after deployment. The Steel Legion have formed an iron line of tanks across the whole battlefield. We have 3 Chimeras and a Sentinel here, Lehman Russes and a Sentinel in the centre, and then more Chimeras. And oh no, we've got a Bio Titan on the field, and a Sentinel and another Armoured Fist Squad over here. The Tau have deployed forward infiltrators here with the stealth suits, and then they have the Ghost Kill, Piranhas, and a big old blob of death. Pretty much all their fire arrows are hanging out round here to avoid the long-range bombardment of the Imperial Guard. It's got some more heavy firepower, and then we have more fire warriors over here. So there we go. This is actually Commissar Kylo, the cat. She's just making sure the morale of all the Imperial Guard is up to scratch before they go into battle. So currently the Tau have turn 1. They won the roll off even though the Guard had +1 and the Guard failed to seize. So we'll be back after Tau turn 1. So end of Tau turn 1, and a pretty good display by the Tau with their new codex. These units boosted forward, getting right into the face of the Armageddon Steel Legion. This guy opened up and was able to do 8 wounds to the Chimera, and then in a 1-2 punch, these 2 Piranhas were able to blow it up, which resulted in the drone being killed, 1 of these guys, and 2 of the stealth team, and another drone. These commanders then dropped down. The plasma one was able to do 3 wounds to him, and the plasma fusion fired some plasma at him and put another 2 wounds on him, and then he did, I think it was 7 wounds with his 2 fusion guns to the tank that was here. That tank was then finished off in a absolute stinging salvo of missile pods. AP -2 thanks to the advanced target system really made a difference there. Johnny is used to facing these Steel Legions, so he's got a few tricks to use against them. The Sentinel was then finished off by some pinpoint pulse rifle fire. As the driver clambered out, he was obliterated by those fire warriors. And then in a shocking twist, after such an amazing start with a Chimera down, the squad killed from these guys, and a tank blown up, and a Sentinel blown up, we still had the big guns to fire. The long strike fired and got a 1 to wound against this tank commander, and then the next railhead opened up and also got a 1 to wound. Quickly changing target. Clearly this tank commander was blessed by the Emperor. That ion head was able to put 2 damage on this Chimera. So in total, a squad, a Chimera, a tank, and a Sentinel have been killed by the Tau. But let's see what the response of the Armageddon Steel Legion can be on the xenos scum. So the response of the Steel Legion was not too bad, to be honest, not too bad. Over here, both Plasma, Exterminator, Executioner, Lehman Russes trundled forward just under 5 inches, got into range of this tank and did 16 wounds to it and absolutely blew it to pieces. The tank commander was then able to put a good bombardment into long strike and did 6 wounds to him over there. Small arms fire from various Chimeras were able to finish off the last 2 stealth suits over here, and these guys got out with the help of the officer, charged in. They did actually a respectable number of wounds, but the power armour of the stealth suits kept them safe. In return, they did no damage back to the guard, but they can jump out of combat and still fire effectively, so they are not locked up. This guy unfortunately wasn't in range of anything. This Chimera was able to kill a gun drone. This one did a respectable amount of wounds to the fire warriors, but again they made their cover saves. And finally, this las cannon got a cheeky long side shot over onto this Piranha, and was able to do 4 wounds to it. So, not too bad. We've cleared out one of the stealth teams. We've destroyed one hammerhead, damaged another, and done some scatter damage elsewhere. Let's see how the Tau will respond to this threat going forward into their turn 2. So a very interesting Tau turn. Started off very hot and then went a bit cold near the end. So with some excellent marker light support, this tank here was very quickly dispatched from by the Piranhas and the commander. They've been doing really well. And then Longstrike and his friend chipped in, and we're just Longstrike got a 1 to hit and his friend got a 1 to wound. Just absolutely no damage done by those tanks so far this game. Really disappointing. Very hot, very cold. Plasma's firing, fusion's firing hot, railguns are firing cold. Gun drones were able to, and burst cannons were able to bring these guys down just to 2, and then no damage done to either side in close combat. And then Missile Commander was able to do 7 wounds to this vehicle, and then the Ghost Keel was able to do another 2. So that Chimera is very badly banged up, but it is still alive, and this one has taken a wound from some various small arms fire. I should mention the Sentinel's also taken 3 wounds from gun drones and from this squad over here. So, an interesting Tau turn. They've killed a tank and badly damaged a Chimera. But now it's going to be time for the Imperial Guard to fight back. We really need a good turn here to keep us in the game, because we are taking serious losses to our main damage dealing units. Okay, let's see what the Guard can do going in to their turn 2. So, not a bad Imperial Guard turn there. We started off with mass reactive shots from these Chimeras. Were able to clear off one of the Piranhas. Should mention this Chimera was healed by 4 hull points. 3 from the engine sear, 1 from jury rigging. And then this Sentinel here was able to do enough damage to blow up the other Piranha. So not too bad. Quick start. Then we made a mistake. I'd forgot to actually move this guy forward, and he would have been in range of Longstrike, but he wasn't in range. So instead, after I'd cleared a few drones out, I fired everything at the commander, but he just kept putting wounds onto the commander, and my hitting wasn't great, to be honest. So that commander's undamaged, and in total, 4 of those drones have been killed. This Sentinel was able to fire a cheeky las cannon shot over at these stealth suit guys here. And I should finally say that the tank commander was in range with his battle cannon, was able to do 5 more wounds to Longstrike. So Longstrike is on his final bracket. He's taken 11 wounds in total. So yeah, it's not a bad turn, you know, clearing off the Piranhas, getting through those drone wounds, and significantly damaging Longstrike all helps, but not as much damage. If we'd taken Longstrike out that turn, I think it would have been really good, but unfortunately not quite what we wanted. Let's see if Tau can take advantage of that tactical mistake made by the Guard. So, interesting Tau turn. Didn't go as well as they wanted to. They went for the lunge there, and unfortunately may have fallen a bit short. I don't think it went too badly considering they lost 2 fusion, but Johnny thinks his Tau should have done much better. So, you leave down in the comments what you guys think. So, starting off over here, the combined firepower from these two were able to put 2 hull points onto this Chimera, so it's only got 3 left. The Ghost Kid unfortunately did really bad and wasn't able to do any damage. That first time that thing's fusion has let it down. Fortunately, this Tau commander was able to pick up the slack and was able to do 5 wounds in total to that thing with his fusion, and another 3 were done by railheads and smart missiles, seeker missiles, sorry. So in total, he's taken 8 hull points this turn. And I think that is it, unfortunately. Not a huge amount of damage done. So we're going to have to see if the Imperial Guard can make use of this reprieve that they have been given by the Emperor. It is really close. The Tau still have plenty of drones. They still have plenty of battle suits. Their infantry hasn't been damaged. Their armour is suffering. So we're really going to have to see if the Imperial Guard can pull something out of the bag here. So we'll be back at the end of Imperial Guard turn 3. So a bit of a disappointing turn for the Imperial Guard. I mean, not as good as we could have potentially done, but considering all the vehicles now are rocking some kind of damage in the main battle zone, it's probably what we should have expected to get. So all the chimeras opened fire and were able to clear off the gun drones, and I believe one of the stealth drones. There's just one of those guys left. The two las cannons here both hit the commander because he was the nearest target, and Johnny rolled a 6 to save both times. So really, really unfortunate there. Could have had a commander down then, but it was not to be. I consoled myself by using the tank commander to absolutely obliterate Long Strike. He's finally gone, so hopefully, well, that is a good target down, although he hasn't done much this game. And finally, this Chimera has just been slowly advancing forward bit by bit, and he's just been plinking away over here, and he's managed to kill 4 of these guys overall now. So, interesting turn. The Tau probably got off a little bit lightly then. They have a Ghost Kill, a Tau Commander, and some stealth units and another Tau Commander in amongst the Imperial Guard. But the Guard do still have a lot of armour left on the field, and we're going into Tau turn 4. So let's see what they can do. So, nail biter of a Tau turn. And we were just saying how outside of Johnny's fusion, he's really been struggling to get his wounds to come through. I mean, he's plenty of hits, but just been struggling with wounds. So, the Hammerhead over here, between its Hammerhead and its Seeker missiles, was able to bring this guy to 10 wounds that he's taken. So that's pretty... He's on his last legs. And then over here, these two fired in and were able to reduce this tank commander. So he's taken 10 wounds. So both tanks are on 2 wounds each. But apart from that, no damage has been done. This Ghost Kill has charged in to lock up this Chimera. But it just seems like both sides are really struggling to hurt the other one. I guess both sides are quite tough. I'm struggling to hit Johnny with all his stealth. He's struggling to get through my armour, just good old-fashioned armour plate. It's going to be a tough one. We're going to have to see what the Imperial Guard can do going into their turn 4. Now, the majority of their big boom cannons have been neutered. They're on the last brackets. Let's see what the Steel Legion can do in their turn 4. So an absolutely epic Guard turn. Not in terms of damage output, just in terms of events that happened. So, it was tactically done by the Guard. This commander and this squad eliminated the stealth drone, meaning that the Ghost Kill was now no longer -1 to hit with the tank commander, because he was within 12 inches. The tank commander, who has not missed a trick this game, got repaired down to 7 hull points, so he's hitting on 4s, and then unloaded 11 battle cannon shots into the Ghost Kill, and plus the plasma, which got 5 shots, and just absolutely obliterated it. It was literally just smashed asunder. Johnny used the failsafe override explosion to do a wound to this squad and a wound to this vehicle. But he also he didn't do any wounds to his commander. He used a command point to make sure that didn't happen. Then, in an attempt to kill the commander, this tank decided he was going to overcharge, but he only had 2 wounds left, and he got 2, and he had no rerolls of any kind, and he got 2 ones on his shots. Now, he was able to do 3 wounds to the commander with his everything else, but he did blow up, which caused significant damage to everyone around him. It killed the commander with the explosion. It caused this to blow up, which actually did blow up, which meant this thing took 3 wounds. He took 3 wounds. He took 3 wounds. He took 3 wounds, I believe. And that was everything. So we took the commander with him, but yeah, a lot of... Oh, sorry, the commander took 1 wound, and then I finished him off with this squad. But yeah, he is gone, and so is this. So despite the fact we've cleared out the main threats, we've taken a lot of damage, and we've lost a significant chunk of our firepower. In other news, small arms fire from various, and our last cannon shot were able to kill 2 more stealth team. So just 1 stealth team member left on the board now. This Chimera was able to kill off a guy from here. And that is it for the Imperial Guard. So, not a bad turn. We'll have to see what the Tau do in their turn 5. Potentially, the last turn of the game. They still have plenty of assets left on the field. They have lots of infantry left. All their fire warrior squads are on the field. Some of them have been damaged. They've got their pathfinders. They've still got 2 commanders left, bristling with weapons, and they still have this hammerhead, which has started picking up its damage output. So it is not over yet. And in terms of the mission, it is the scouring, of course. So the Tau are currently controlling 3 objectives. This one is the minor objective, and the Guard are currently controlling or within reach of 3 objectives as well, with the 4 being the major objective. So not sure if we mentioned that at the beginning of the game. But yeah, so plenty of assets left on both sides. We'll have to see what the Tau can pull out of the bag going in to their turn 5. So a very interesting Tau turn, as seems to be the way with these Tau turns. Started off really hot and then got cold at the end. So starting off with Quad Plasma guy over here. He did not miss a beat and got 6 wounds on the Chimera, which just deleted it, turned it into a pile of molten slag. That then revealed the 2 Guardsmen who were cowering behind it for cover, which were then pulverized by the remaining stealth suit. 2 hits, 2 wounds, no saves made, absolutely precision marksmanship. Then it started to get a little cold. The missile guy opened up on the Lehman Russ tank commander that was here and didn't do any damage. Then Johnny was forced to use his rail gun hammerhead to finally do the damage. It finally pulled its finger out. Turn after turn, it's not been doing what it's meant to do, but he got a 5 to hit, 3 to wound, no armor save for the Lehman Russ, and he got 3 damage, 1 more than he needed to do to remove the Lehman Russ. So the last Lehman Russ has been removed, and we've also lost another Chimera. So the Armageddon Steel Legion are now down to 4 Chimeras and a Sentinel and about 40 infantry going into their turn 5. So potentially the last turn of the game, we're going to have to see what the Steel Legion can do to try and secure victory. So a real nail-biting Imperial Guard turn. Not a huge amount of damage done, but some significant developments. So starting off over here with the main show, the Chimera squad, Armoured Fist squad with the junior officer, led a glorious charge. Cold steel and bayonets, balls and brass brigade. They got in amongst them. Pinpoint lasgun fire with some heavy support fire from those 2 Chimeras was able to absolutely mulch the 5-man squad that was here. Another 2 were killed from the top here from this Chimera support fire. Then the guys went in. We did a respectable amount of hits, respectable amount of wounds. Johnny made 3 out of 4 armor saves, and then he used a command point to make the 4th armor save. So pretty lucky there. You know, should have lost 2, but you know, clever use of command points and a little bit of luck from the greater good has meant that they are standing firm. But there's a lot of guardsmen swarming around that objective, and even if the game goes on, if the Tau want to try and blast those guardsmen off, they will need to fall back away from the objective. So that will not be a good idea for them. The rest of the action was pretty minimal, to be honest. Like I said, these 2 Chimeras over here had already provided support to the assault squad. This Chimera here, plus the squad down here, were able to finish off the last stealth suit. So the stealth suits are dead. Long live the stealth suits. In total, about 7 fire warriors and a stealth suit kill, which at this point in the game is actually significant losses for the Tau. Now we're going to see if the game continues. Oh, do you want to use the big blue bullshit dice? Okay, big blue bullshit dice getting a reputation on the channel. Let's see if the game continues. The game does continue. We will be back at the end of Tau turn 6. This is going to be interesting. So the Tau executed a perfect Montca or Caillou. We're not quite sure which one. Leave down in the comments which you think is more appropriate. The Tau fireworks here perfectly fell back, providing room for the smart missile systems, the Tau missile commander and the 5-man unit of Fire Warriors over here to the last wound, execute the infantry squad over there. So this man here is a lieutenant, so he is non-objective secured. So currently the Tau are holding that objective. So interesting. Over here, the plasma guy, I believe, was able to put a couple of wounds on this, and then another 4 were put on it by the hammerhead. So it's only got 1 wound left. The railgun has been picking up. Had to use a command point to make it work, but it has been picking up. So pretty much a destroyed Chimera and a destroyed infantry squad. Johnny manages to get one of his command points back with his pure-tide engram chip. Just rolled a 6 then. He's been really good with that. I think he's had 3 back so far.
No, I've had like 5 back.
He's had like 5 back. He's on 3 command points, I believe, is what he's saying. So, the guard used all their command points turns ago. I think by turn 3 they were gone. So, the guard have a chance now. We've got to try and see what we can do. Let's see what the Armageddon Steel Legion, how they can respond to this pretty good Xenos turn in these late stages. So end of guard turn 6, not a great one to be honest. Was able to do 5 wounds on this guy. All the Chimeras failed to do anything. And then the infantry squad over here was able to put 1 on him with a las gun and then 4 on him with an overcharging plasma gun. So we've taken 5 wounds, so he's got 1 left. And then over here, real nail biter. So this Chimera fired first and was able to kill 2. This Chimera missed with everything, and this guy with his frag grenade missed with everything. So then we charged in. The tank got no hits, predictably. The officer was able to put a wound on the chap, but he did make it. So he then came down to battle shot. Now he's only leadership 6, and Johnny rolled a 5, but because he's got like 1 million command points left thanks to his pure-tide engram chip, I think he's still got like, what is it, 2 left, is it? That he was able to re-roll and actually got 4, and that guy just stuck around. So we're going to see if the game ends now. On a 1, 2 or 3, it ends. That is a 2. So the game has ended. We'll be back with a summary of the score. So the final score is, this is the major objective, so that's 4 points, plus 2 points, plus I have my warlord back here controlling this objective. So that is 8 points to the guard, plus we have line breaker thanks to that Chimera and officer there, so that is 9 points in total. The Tau have this objective for 2 points, this objective for 2 points, and this objective, which is the minor objective, which is worth 1, so that's 5. They also have line breaker and first blood, so that's 7. So it's 7 points to the Tau, 9 points to the Imperial Guard. That is an Imperial Guard victory. Victory for the Steel Legion on their debut on the channel. Me and Johnny were just having a little chat there, and we were just saying that even for an army like Tau, which traditionally have been pretty good at cracking open Imperial Guard tanks, it is a tough list. It doesn't put out huge amounts of firepower, but it just takes sucker punch after sucker punch, and you just need you spend so much time focusing down those Lehman Russes that when it comes to the end game, there's 3 or 4 armoured fist squads rocking around the battlefield securing those objectives. So it is a tough list. The Tau list was pretty well equipped today. The Steel Legion, ignoring AP -1, didn't really come into play. I think the only weapon it was affected by was the Ghost Keel main weapon, the Ion Raker. And the 18-inch rapid fire didn't really come into play either, just because the firefights were either at maximum range or at bloody close range, which is the way we like it in the Guard. So, tough lists on both sides. The Steel Legion have won through today. I'm sure that Johnny will be going away, consulting with the Ethereals, with the Fireblades, and he'll be cooking up another list for the Steel Legion to face. So, hope you guys have enjoyed today's battle report. Leave lots of comments. Tell us what you think about the Steel Legion. What do you think of the lists? Any recommendations for both sides? And I'll see you guys next time.